Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be doing my January wrap-up. So I thought I would read a little bit more in January, but apparently I didn't. I read like 3 books, 3.5 technically, but I just didn't really finish the last one. Not because I didn't enjoy it, it's just because I'm just in a mood where I don't want to read, and that's been happening a lot lately. And I know I look like a complete and utter hot mess. I look like an old lady with her hair freaking up into whatever. So please ignore that. I'm trying to do this thing where I'm not caring what I look like on camera and post it on the internet just because, like, I really don't care. So, that's gonna be my New Year, New Me thing. Like, I'm not gonna, like, put on a face for the camera. So, anyway, I'm gonna get into my wrap-up. I read 3 books. One was a reread. Yeah, and the other one's kind of a reread, not really. You'll see in a second. It'd be helpful if I was actually prepared, like other booktubers seem to be, and actually have my ratings up on my phone. So, the first book that I read was actually a book that's actually really hyped on BookTube, and I promised I probably wouldn't do that really, but I owned it, and I was going to try to read it with a friend for a book club sort of thing that we were doing, and then we didn't, kind of stopped it. But then I picked it up because I wanted to try to read something different for January, for the first month of the year, and, you know, I was like, what can I read that's different that I don't know if I'll like or not? And then I saw this book on my shelf, or in my books that I need to read piles, which are right below me over here, that I've been trying to pick off of lately because I'm trying to finish all of them. That is Scythe by Neil Shusterman. If you do not know, Scythe is about a dystopian world, basically our own, where they've basically beaten death by allotting the amount of killings per year or something with these people called Scythes, and so it follows 2 characters who are kind of chosen to be an apprentice to a scythe, and then all this shit ensues, and it's great. So when I was reading this book, I felt like it was very slow, very, like, I don't know, it was very slow, as I just said, but then it started to pick up, and I actually started to really enjoy it towards the end, and I'm not going to spoil anything, because this is the first in a series, or in a trilogy that just ended this year, so I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but I absolutely loved it. I didn't think I would, just because a lot of it was slow, and a lot of it was, you know, very boring, very dense, but I ended up actually really enjoying it. There was a point at the end where I was literally, like, sitting in my living room with Kyle crying because it was so good. It was like the first book, I think, in a while that actually made me cry that I hadn't reread before, and that is awesome because, you know, that means I'm starting to actually get back into reading and get back into what I'm doing. So, I mean, there's that. But I really did enjoy it. Gave it 5 stars. I really, really enjoyed it. I originally was teetering between a 4 and a 5 when I was reading it, and then when I finished it, I was like, this is a whole ass 5 stars. I gotta do it. And so, yeah, so I read this one this month, and I actually really liked it. So I recommend you go pick it up because it's really good. I can't wait to see what the next book entails. What's the next one called? I don't remember. I know the last one's called The Toll. Oh, Thunderhead. I know that the second one's called Thunderhead, so maybe sometime this year I'll get to the last 2 books of the series and actually cry myself to sleep. The next book that I read, I actually did get for Christmas, and I loved this book so much. There's a lot of mixed reviews on it, on BookTube and BookTwitter, and, you know, on Goodreads and everything, but I decided to pick it up because this was when I was, like, really in my writing mood. You know, I'm writing the sequel to my book, and it's about witches and about magic, and I wanted to see how other people did it, especially in YA, because it's a different type of thing to write about, you know, and especially it's like a different type of genre to write about. So I wanted to see how other people went about it. I did read in the past Beautiful Creatures by Kami Garcia and Margaret Stoll, but that's not the point. But I wanted to pick this book up because A, it sounded really, really good when I heard about it, and B, it has to do with witches, and I want to try to pick up as many witch books as I can, so that way I can kind of familiarize myself with the genre and also like how my book kind of will fit into that genre. So that being said, after a long-winded explanation, I ended up picking up Serpent and Duff by Shelby Mahurin, and I loved this book. So Serpent and Duff it follows two characters, Lou and what's his name? Reed. Sorry, I forgot his name because I read this book so long ago. It's like follows Lou and Reed. Lou is a witch, and in this world, witches are basically burned and killed because they do magic. And so Lou is basically trying to like fight for her life, but also at the same time she is on the run from somebody, and so the only way to basically save herself and to put herself under the protection that she needs to stay away from this person is to marry Reed, and he is a witch hunter, and I think that's just a great like trope, I guess. I don't know if it's a trope, but like I really did enjoy the premise. I really did like the characters. I was sort of predicting stuff at the end, but that was just because it was leading towards that, and I was like pretty excited to find out all of this information. And I think it's coming to a second book, I believe. I don't really know. I don't know if she's working on it or not. But I really want to read the second book because this book was so good. I gave it 5 stars. It was that good. This was just a month of good reads for me, even though I didn't like actually read a lot. But yeah, I gave it 5 stars. Really enjoyed it. I recommend you pick it up if you haven't already. Alright, and the last book that I finished in this month was a reread. So I'm doing a reread of this series. I stopped at the 3rd book maybe last month or the month before. I don't really remember when. But then I continued on to the 4th book because I love this series so much. It's something that like I really enjoyed when I read it the first time, and it just gives me nostalgia. So I'm rereading, I reread Percy Jackson Olympians, The Battle of the Labyrinth by Rick Riordan, or Riordan? There's so many ways that I say his name, and I still do not know, and like I know there's a proper way, and I know people will yell at me, especially Julia, but like, I don't remember. Anyway, so this is the 4th book in the series, so I can't really tell you what's happening in this book, so it'll kind of spoil a lot, but this is the series if you don't possibly know what Percy Jackson's about. Percy Jackson is about a boy named Percy Jackson who finds out that he has a parent that's a Greek god or goddess, and so then he has to go to Camp Half-Blood and basically like learn to do all this stuff, but also like go on quests and help save the world basically. So this is the 4th book, and it takes place in the labyrinth, and they're trying to find Pan, the god of the wild, but also trying to stay away from Luke because Luke's trying to kill everybody. But like, when's Luke not trying to kill somebody? That's the real question. Anyway, so the reason why I have little tabs in this one is because I was reading it and I got so excited because they end up outside of the maze or the labyrinth basically, and they end up at a place that I knew because my best friend lives there, and I just got so excited. They end up like on this mountain, and they were looking at the Rocky Mountains in Colorado, and Percy wonders where they are. You know, they're somewhere, and someone says they're in Colorado Springs at the Garden of the Gods, and I'll post some pictures here, put some pictures here, but my best friend lives in Colorado Springs with her son and her fiance, and I just got so excited. I immediately texted her after I saw that. But then on the other page they mentioned Pikes Peak, which is right near Colorado Springs. You don't need to know this, but like I got so excited, my heart started to like freak out. I was like, oh my god, that's where my best friend lives. But anyway, as always, I give it 5 stars because I love Percy Jackson. And I got to see Nico in this book, and Nico's like my actual boy. to the point where like I almost started looking for jewelry with Nico's name on it so I could buy it. I think my favorite though out of the whole series is the Titan's Curse, just because you get introduced to Nico and his sister and all that stuff. But I gave this 5 stars. I really enjoyed it, as I've probably said about the other 2 books that I read. But yeah. Okay, so the last book I did not finish yet, but I mean I can finish it whenever. It's a really quick book. I started reading it before I went to a concert. Well, okay, I'll explain that in a second too. I started reading it when I started to go to a concert. It was like Monday morning, or Sunday night. I started reading it, and then I just haven't really read anything since, just because I haven't been reading much lately. But I started reading the next volume in Snow White with the Red Hair by Sorta Akiduki. Sorry, I can't speak. And this is kind of like a Snow White retelling, but not really. Like the first volume and the first episode of the anime is like Snow White, but it's not really. You have to watch it and experience it to know, because like, you know. But yeah, I only got to like the, I don't know, 7th chapter, which is like this is like halfway through, I want to say. Oh, not even halfway through. But anyway, I stopped reading because I ended up rewatching the whole entire anime. So like, that's a reason why I didn't finish it. But I'm gonna try to finish it this month. I also have a whole bunch of other books that I want to read. There's a book that came out last month that I really wanted to read. Tried to reread the first book, and then I just didn't because of reasons. Because I just didn't feel like it. But anyway, yeah, this is a retelling of Snow White, but not really. But I started reading this, and then I was going to try to do a reading vlog, essentially, but then it just didn't work. And it was going to include the concert that I went to, and if you guys don't know, I went to go see Stray Kids on Wednesday night. That was the 29th. They were so good. I was like crying. It was a whole adventure. I'll explain it probably in another video, because it was an adventure. So, yeah. Okay, so that was my January wrap-up, and yeah. Thanks for watching. I know I've kind of been sparse on this channel, but I promise I'm trying to come back. I'm trying to do some stuff. I'm trying to make videos, but like, life is just life. So, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. My name's Olivia, you're on Bookish Brookish on this channel, and I hope to see you soon in another video. Bye.